My question was, which squad strategy should Liverpool pursue in Mega April? So I just basically watched like everyone else in the Liverpool bubble, like social media, Twitter, and you see the screenshot of our next match days of April, and you see like big games, big opponents, and you have to win them. And suddenly I started to think about like, how do you manage your squad in April? Like, do you always play your best 11? How many changes do you make? Like, do you drastically make changes with 5-6 subs from game to game? Do you play through the whole April with 11, 12, 14 players and change things in May because it gets easier there? Like, how are you managing this squad through that Mega April?
It's a tough one, isn't it? I think the Watford game first, you won't see Liverpool's best 11. Mm-hmm. I think you'll see the best 11 in Benfica, what Jurgen thinks is his best 11, but he will use all 5 of his subs in that game, 100%. 5 days before we play Man City at the Etihad, he will make 5 changes in that match, guarantee you. The City, he will pick up what he thinks, again, best 11, what he's got, best 11. You're hoping Benfica after that, you're hoping Ty's done and dusted, but again, you can go halfy, because then it's the City semi-final where he'll pick his best team again. The issue we've got really is that usually it would be after that is where you maybe make changes. Man United, I don't think he would. I think the team he put out against Everton will be... Remember when we beat them 5-2 and it was Shaq, Lallana, Origi? Yep. He thinks Everton are shit because Everton are shit. I think that will be the game when he makes a ton of changes. You'll be surprised who's in that team. Yep. The difference this year is, Evo, I think you probably agree, is that if he makes 3 changes up front, and it's say against City, he goes the OG front 3. Against Everton, you could very much still go Diaz, Jota, Taki, or Diaz, Jota. I mean, so the level is better. With all due respect to Shaqiri and Lallana,
he does this with Everton, doesn't he? Where
he thinks the crap.
Exactly, but he lets them know
that I think you're crap.
Yeah, I think you're crap. and instead of them going, oh, we're going to prove you wrong, it's like, oh God, Jurgen thinks we're crap, and then it becomes the self-fulfilling prophecy because Everton are a damaged prospect. But I think Watford is fine-tuning. So Watford he'll look at what he gets back.
And who hasn't been.
Exactly, who hasn't been, and he'll assess his squad, and it'll be a little bit like Forest, but better, where he'll go, okay, who needs to play so that they're ready for, because the point is, City being the weekend after, there's a chance that there's players who might not play against Benfica but will play definitely against City. That's another possibility, because you've got a bit of time in rotation there. What I think he will do, because I think he'll just carry on with what we've been doing, but
3 or 4 changes every time.
It will be the sub thing of, I think Hendo and Fabinho will rotate in the 6
rather than playing in the same team much.
A little bit, yeah. And Thiago and Naby will rotate a bit more, and whether that's just off the bench, because Benfica games, as you say, you can do 45 minutes in them games if you want, or you can do 50 minutes or 60 minutes and give them and actually you can swap your entire midfield 3 in them and still change your front 3 as well. They'll be key to that, but I think it will be. I think he will pick from a much more hard set, 16 or 17, as opposed to all of it. So if you're on the fringes, I don't think we're going to see a lot of Curtis Jones. I don't think we're going to see a lot of Harvey Elliott. I don't think we're going to see a lot of Oxlade-Chamberlain. Yeah. We're not going to see any really of Taki Minamino or Divock Origi. Apart from
off the bench,
they'll be on the bench. Maybe one of Taki or Divock will be on the bench, but broadly, it will be as much of his best team as possible. So the goalie won't change. He won't change the fullbacks unless he really needs to. Like Tsimikas might play against Watford, and he might play the second leg against Benfica, and he might play the derby. He's one of the rare exceptions. Trent will go, and Milner, I think, will be asked to come in and do, and Gomez will be asked to do Champions League half an hours, or closing out football matches kind of things. Similar with Canate, but then the midfield, it will be either Fabinho or Hendo. Fabinho and Hendo will rotate who start matches depending on the quality of the opposition. If we think the brilliant Fabinho starts, if we think it's going to be a team that we're going to have loads of the ball and it's just about creating, it's fine. We'll just play Henderson in that. Yeah. And then Naby, Hendo, Thiago, and possibly Curtis a little bit will rotate that midfield 3. And then yeah, it'll be, God, 5 for the front.
Yeah, and that can be anything. What I would say is, I think now, I think he will want Bobby to play against City, and I think he will want Jota to play against Watford and Benfica, maybe. I think Diaz will play against Benfica.
Which is the best front three if we play Man City in the league?
For City, I'm always...
Diaz, Jota, Salah.
Sadio,
right now,
I think Sadio gets in. But the flip side is...
Super subs.
The flip side... Jota is my... I'm no one's a bigger Jota fan than me, but it's fair to say in the last few weeks he hasn't been good.
Yep.
He just happens to score goals, which is fine. You might get away, and you might need that against Man City as well. That's the thing. It's going to be... It's whether he goes horses for courses, and that's what I think he will do.
Is Sadio Mane in his mind as a centre forward now, or was that because Firmino was injured and Jota was just coming back? And is that the reason why Mane played there? Because if not, Mane's done such a good job that as he hit upon something, I think in the City games he will go.
I think he'll want Bobby
as
on the
tried
pitch.
and tested as possible, and so it's in the likelihood of probabilities. Diaz falls below Firmino and Jota in terms of who will play in those games, I think. Hey everyone, excuse the interruption, but this show is brought to you in association with Last Man Standing, the incredible new show over on the BetVictor YouTube channel. I was over there this week chatting about Jurgen Klopp and Guardiola and who was the best manager. Here's a clip from that. Make sure you head over to the channel using the description link below. Leave a like and leave a comment saying that mate sent you, which is always good.
Can I make a case, sorry Flav, just for Guardiola, just for an outside one? I don't think anyone's considered, because clearly under Guardiola, Man City have bought like innumerable fullbacks for good money. They've bought loads of centre-halves that haven't worked out for good money, and they've moved on. And all over the pitch, they've spent money and it's not worked, and he's had to do. Now, could you make a case that Man City's recruitment is just rubbish? And in that case, then Pep is this like really downtrodden hero that he's managed to win all those trophies despite the fact that Man City's recruitment team is clearly absolutely dreadful at their jobs. So what a plucky underdog. What a plucky underdog Guardiola really is. You know, we're looking at this from the wrong perspective. He's still got Zinchenko as a left-back option, Flav. My God, what a hero this man is.
I think for Diaz, and he's only just coming in, he hasn't felt those games before, and I think because they are so big now, I think he'll want the lads who know everything what it's like, because you can get beat by City by being 1 yard out of place once, and he can smash it. And I think.
But what's the argument? So sitting him or not sitting him?
I don't think Diaz plays in either of the City games starts.
Yeah,
he might play the it depends how the league game goes. He might play the FA Cup game again. Wembley, he's been there. He's played against Chelsea. He had a great game. Nice big open pitch. He might just say to Diaz, "Go on, go and give them."
Go and get a Carl Walker.
Having Diaz as a sub. Like after you played maybe Sadio, Jota, Salah or Bobby, somehow bringing Luis Diaz in for the last 30 minutes.
If we're going to win the league, it's going to be because of that as well. Because City haven't got that. No one's got that firepower five.
And that's the other side of the coin. Yeah, is you start Sadio, Bobby, Mo, but you finish Diaz, Jota,
Salah,
and you've got a brilliant goal, exciting, pacey goal. Because I think the Arsenal game maybe gives a little inkling that in those games against good managers who understand what you're doing, you want perfection. You want that level of understanding. So we'll lose a little bit of pace from the Diaz thing, or maybe lose a bit of predatory goal scoring from Jota, but having your lads understand everything that you require on the pitch might be the thing that gets you through.
You know what's massive? The Benfica first leg, because I think there'll be a desperation not only to beat Benfica, but to fucking annihilate Benfica and just try and make the game on the 13th in between two City games as relaxed as possible. A bit like the Inter Milan game the other day. I know it was only 2-0 and it got ropey, but it was never really that ropey. So even if you go to Benfica and win by 2 or more, it makes that other one a lot easier. With that can be... Shimikas can play that one, and you might throw Milner that right back in that one, in between the two Man City games. I think that's why I think Watford will be higgledy-piggledy. They'll be the lads who haven't gone, so Kanate's not gone, Matip's not gone, Thiago's not gone, Ox might be, maybe Oxlade-Chamberlain. But Benfica, you go, right, let's get the big boys out, let's go smash these off the fucking park. and then that gives you the grace of God next week to have a break.
There's also, you're complicit there, or there's a sort of tacit agreement between Guardiola and Klopp.
Yeah.
You've got Champions League, you've both got Champions League games either side, so you're knackered, but they're knackered too. So you know they're gonna, because you both have to go strong. And you're right, if Liverpool can engineer a situation, and let's be honest, they can do that with the bench in Benfica, where even if we don't blow them away,
you can win 2-0.
You can win, and you can still make 5 subs and not harm your chances of finishing that Benfica game strong. Whereas I don't think right now City have quite got the same level.
Atletico's going to be horrendous for them, and that's my hope. Listen, I might be wrong. Man City could just go and beat them 5-0, because they can beat anyone 5-0. They could beat Liverpool 5-0. They're that good. What we want, again, that if you're looking for the tiniest of advantages, can we go Benfica away, beat them, and then bring them back to Anfield, where we want Atleti to rock up at the Etihad. That first game is at City, isn't it? Atletico are not going to move out their own box. They are just going to sit there all day, and if they get beat 1-0, they'll be fine. Yeah. And City are going to have to work their nuts off. And then the plan, if Simeone gets what he wants, he gets them back over to the Wanda, and it's a proper game. Yeah. That's the one thing. I think normally of those teams, which is mad to say this, and I'm not disrespecting Benfica at all here, but like they are levels below Manchester City.
They're
and they are
the
levels
best
below,
team in Portugal.
And their levels below what we could have got. Like it was the best draw I think we could have got in terms of quality. Them and Villarreal are the two
and there's no, and they see, again, to the point, they're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League because they're good enough to be in the quarterfinals.
Shit.
You don't get there by accident. No, but I agree, and it depends.
It could have been City. It could have been City twice. Yeah. It could have been Chelsea. You know, it could have been a very good Real Madrid. It could have been Bayern Munich. So Liverpool have got the advantage of the draw coming out as it is that you might be that could be something against City, because I think Simeone's going to burn Pep's head out. And if Liverpool can take any smidgen of advantage over those 2 games, they need to.
Thank you so much for checking out this free section from this week's debate show. 2 more topics in the full show streaming right now over on redmenplus.com. We were chatting about who do we want to see come out on top in the Egypt-Senegal World Cup qualifiers between Sadio and Mo, and what that might mean for the psychology of the rest of Liverpool's season. We also decided to have a good old debate about who do we think in the current Liverpool squad deserves more love from the wider football community. The debate show and a whole host of extra Redmen shows, documentaries, features and interviews available to stream right now on Redmen Plus. Head to redmenplus.com and sign up.